Hey there Cosmic Warriors, and welcome back to another video. So in today's video we are going to be taking a look at the physical appearance and physical attractiveness of the Gemini Rising today, so stay tuned. But first of all, I just want to start off this video by saying a big massive thank you to all of you who submitted your photos into me for the purpose of this video. I do hope that you enjoy it. There's just one more quick thing I want to say here. If you're not shown in the video today, I do sincerely apologize. It's just because I have received a lot of images from you guys. But I will still try to see, okay? It may turn out a different way in the editing. Though, before we do jump into today's video, I also want to mention here that I have some merchandise if you are interested. I have some Scorpio merchandise, some Libra merchandise. It is Scorpio season, so happy birthday to all you Scorpios out there. But yes, those pieces are up on my Teespring at the moment, and then just stay tuned throughout the rest of the astrological year for the other pieces, okay? I will be doing all of the 12 signs. But anyways, with all those introductions then being said, Gemini Risings, let's do this. Now, I am specifically going to be focusing on the rising sign in order to analyze physical appearance and physical attractiveness, but it's also a good idea to look for the sun sign, look at that sun sign placement, also look at the midheaven for more of an insight, and some astrologers also like to look at the chart ruler, so looking at the placement of the chart ruler within the chart to get more of an insight there too. And I also just want to mention here as well that I previously made a series all about the physical appearance of the rising signs, the zodiac signs in general, and this was about 3 years ago, and I would like to think that within 3 years I've definitely learned a lot in terms of astrology. So this is more of an updated version, and the main difference between that version and this one is that I asked you guys, my viewers, my subscribers, to send in your images to me. So once again, thank you so much for that. Okay, so let's get into this. What is it about the Gemini risings that can be deemed as physically attractive? Well, the first and obvious and very well known example is to do with their gleaming, sparkling, bright, lively eyes, and how there's so much expression and so much curiosity located within their eyes. It's truly their eyes that can be so captivating as they grab your attention and just make you wonder about them, just like they wonder about the world around them. See, Gemini risings are very inquisitive people, and so there's this urge to push forward in hopes of learning something new and exciting. They're not really the types of people to sit back in passivity and watch the world unfold around them. Oh no. They're the types of people who want to actively seek out information for themselves. So they'll want to know what you're about if they're actually interested in you. Or they might start asking questions about certain subject matters if those subjects are intellectually stimulating and interesting to them. And as they do so, just watch as their eyes, they light up, okay? With so much eagerness and so much liveliness. Seriously, you'll know if a Gemini rising individual is interested in you based on how much they want to know about you, based on how much they want to unravel you and figure out how you work, how you operate. Though on the other hand, okay, do not be fooled because what you can often find with these Gemini risings is how their intentions, they might go unnoticed. Heck, they might not even be aware of their hidden intentions themselves, but still, it's their wild and childlike curiosity that can be seen as it can be seen quite clearly in their eyes, okay? Though, interestingly enough, what I found out of the images sent in to myself is how they possess these kind of slanted eyes meaning that there appears to be what looks like quite sloping angles in their eye, so at the top of their eye, no matter really the race or ethnicity. And then I also noticed how they can have quite prominent eyelid skin. So you can see the eyelid skin on their eyes quite prominently, on the upper eye as well. And it's this sort of combination that shows, it can show some pretty angular eyes, okay? Pretty angular eyes, quite sort of sharp looking eyes when it comes to them. And it didn't really matter either in terms of the size of their eyes, whether they be large or smaller. I could still pick up on this sort of appearance, okay? This common theme when it comes to their eyes, especially, right? Especially when they're smiling, which, can I just say, their smiles are so cute. So many of them smiled in their photos that were sent in to myself, both showing their teeth and not showing their teeth. Their smiles to me presented a really cutesy and a really adorable look, and then that adorable sort of cute smile in combination with their eyes, super, super cute. I even recall 2 individuals in particular who stuck out their tongues, which to me is very, very Gemini. It's very Gemini energy, because they can be such playful and childlike and fun-loving people, and they can appear sometimes to be quite cheeky and quite mischievous. And I guess in a way, it's these traits that can be deemed as physically attractive when it comes to them. So this whole idea of goofing around and not really taking themselves super, super seriously, these are the types of people who will make fun of themselves rather than have other people make fun of them. And even if others do, you know, shoot jokes at them, they'll most likely just bounce back with something pretty witty and pretty humorous themselves. So yeah, if you're someone who enjoys goofing around, and if you're someone who likes people who are typical jesters, then you might really like having a Gemini rising individual in your life. Now, that's not to say that they cannot be serious, because they very much can be serious. In fact, they can be highly adaptable and versatile people. So there's a high level of being able to switch things up. And so you betcha can they really get down to business. They can have this side of them that can switch from sort of fun and games and playfulness more to do not mess with me, really, don't mess with me. But typically they do like to keep things pretty light, okay? Pretty light, pretty airy, and pretty swift, though still bringing this back to their physical appearance. It's really their smiles and their humor that can go hand in hand, okay? Making them very attractive people to be around and to spend time with. There's certainly people who don't want to be bored, so they'll enjoy coming up with new and interesting ideas of what to do next, or what to do whenever you're with them. Just try and not to put too much pressure on them, or try not to put a super dampener on their spirits or on their ideas, because the last thing a Gemini rising wants is for some negative Nancy to come along and to rain on their parade. Now, another thing that I notice as well about their physical appearance is to do with their very well proportioned and cute noses. I picked up on how a good few of them had pretty meaty noses with much flesh at the ends, but overall their noses appeared very strong, okay? Very strong to me, and quite wide in appearance as well. Though kind of going back to their smiles here for just a moment, similar to the Sagittarius risings, so many of them, they did smile in their picture, which I do think adds to their physical attractiveness, because it's their smiles that show a sense of openness and transparency, And so there's an inviting and welcoming demeanor when it comes to Gemini risings that can be deemed as physically appealing. But again, this does not mean that they're not concealing, hiding information beneath the surface, or that there isn't more than meets the eye when it comes to them, because they actually can be people who present different parts of themselves given the time, place, and situation. And I suppose in a way it's also their adaptable personality that can be appreciated and viewed as physically attractive, especially given that this personality trait can be seen through the clothing, so the types of clothes that they wear. Also when it comes to how they do their hair, or when it comes to how they do their makeup and so on. So a Gemini rising individual might be quite versatile in that they might try different hairstyles, or they might like to switch up their overall look frequently. They're the types of people who enjoy playing around with fashion, and they can also be easily influenced by others. So don't be surprised if you meet them and then after a while of them getting to know you, they start imitating you a little bit or taking on some of your little quirks and your traits. Now, this doesn't mean that they're deliberately trying to copy you or mimic you, or that there's this sort of false fakeness when it comes to them. It's more so that they're naturally changeable types of people when it comes to their appearance and personality. They're just open to trying out new things. However, I want you to also keep in mind here the Venus placement. So looking at the Venus sign, or the position of Venus within the chart when it comes to fashion and beauty as well, because that's definitely going to give you more of an insight into how they dress and style themselves. But still, they are typically people who are difficult to pin down, both when it comes to their personality and when it comes to their appearance. And I would also say that this way of life, it can make them trendy and really up to date with what's in and with what's new and hot at the time. And similarly, they might change their hair color, or they might get a piercing, or they might, decide last minute that they're going to get a tattoo, for example, which by the way, they can be people who make decisions on a whim. So if they decide that they want something, they'll most likely just go for it without necessarily thinking too deeply into it, or thinking more so into the reasons or into the consequences after. Kind of similar to the Aries risings in this respect. Essentially, if you're someone who can keep up with the quickness of a Gemini rising, or if you admire this type of quality in another person, you might be attracted to a Gemini rising. And they can have you trying so many fun and engaging things, and you'll most likely learn a ton of new interesting information from them, along with some useless information where it's like, okay, sure, I didn't really need to know that, but now I do, I guess. But in all seriousness though, Gemini risings, they are such energetic and springy people. They're continuously jumping from one thing to the next, and they're very good at keeping others on their toes, which can be quite exciting and entertaining. Alright, so moving along here, another feature of the Gemini risings that I want to mention that can be viewed as physically attractive are their squishy cheeks. Seriously, when these people smile, their cheeks, they can appear so spongy and soft. They're the types of cheeks that just kind of make you want to reach out, grab them and go, that kind of way. And I think their cheeks add to their cuteness as well, which, following on from this point, I also noticed how many of them have dimples. Yes, and we all know that dimples, they can be seen as super cute on a person, and they can also make somebody appear quite youthful, quite young. And this actually leads me on to another point that I want to make, and that is to do with how Gemini risings can appear to be younger than they are. okay? And I think this is because there's such a childlike, fun, curious, and mischievous look to their face. And also, I think it's due to maybe how their facial expressions and how their mannerisms sort of appear as well. And I suppose in a way, laughter and having a good sense of humour can come into play here. These things can definitely be viewed as quite youthful. I mean, it's often in society that the older we get, the older we become, the more serious we become. But when it comes to Gemini Rising, you see, is that they're quite good at keeping their young and free-like qualities and personalities alive within them in terms of how explorative they are, in terms of how intriguing they can be. Then again, maybe it's their gorgeous skin, or maybe it's their smooth, even facial complexions that can add to their youthfulness as well, you know? Which I did honestly notice how a lot of the people within their images had really lovely, lovely skin. But honestly though, these are the types of people who will go into their 40s looking so vibrant, looking so sprightly. And I also think that their activity and how much they move has something to do with this as well. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to be them physically moving. I mean, it could be, of course, right? But it's more so, it's their eagerness to learn new things, resulting in the mind being active and engaged in activities that can hold their attention for a while. Though, to be fair, it can be difficult to hold the attention span of a Gemini Rising person. So if you are Gemini Rising and you're watching this video right now and you've made it to this part of the video, well done, thank you for watching, good job. Though, interestingly enough, you may find when it comes to them that they either walk fast, or talk fast, or write fast, or eat fast, or move fast. Basically, there's a quickness when it comes to them. And there's also a restlessness about them too. So don't be surprised if they skim the surface when it comes to certain subjects or things within their lives, or if they grasp something really quickly and then move on to something else. So in this way, they're probably not the types of people who waste time. And also, don't be surprised when they need to be on their own for a little bit. Sure, their default can be quite upbeat and quick with things, but there's times whenever all they want to do is just to disengage and give their rapid minds a rest or a break. And you might pick up on this when they're being more quiet than usual or when their moods change. Though the last and final physical trait that I just want to mention here is to do with the length of their limbs. See, what you can often find with the Gemini Risings is how they can have either really long legs or long arms, or even very long and slender fingers, even if they're a little bit more on the heavier side. And they might also have quite long faces or noses or chins, and possibly even like a longer neck. Basically, there can appear to be a good bit of length when it comes to their physical features, which in turn can be deemed as physically attractive and physically appealing. Okay then, Cosmic Warriors, so that concludes my video on the physical appearance and physical attractiveness of the Gemini Rising. Now, if you happen to have a Gemini Rising, or if specifically you happen to be one of the individuals who sent in your image to me for the purpose of this video today, then definitely let us know what you thought of the video in the comment section down below. But with all that being said, thank you so much for watching, thank you for subscribing, and of course, if you would like to see more videos from myself and you have not yet subscribed, then make sure that you click that subscribe button and give this video a like, remember. And also just thank you so much to all of you for sending in your images today. Thank you so much, I do appreciate it. Yeah, so that is me, and I will be back with another video very soon. Bye!